It is 2020, and we are excited to be back with our third podcast. And you might notice we're in a little bit different setting here, and that's because we are at the 2020 Biennial Extension Conference for Oklahoma State University Extension personnel, faculty, and staff. And so while we have all of our county educators up here at the Student Union in Stillwater, we're taking advantage of that, and we're bringing them on. We have 7 horticulture educators around the state, and so we're spending about 10 minutes with each one of them. So you're going to see it's kind of going to be a quick fire. Yeah, and joining us first is Julia Laughlin, who is in Oklahoma County.
Right.
And Julia, thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time, but you have been there at Oklahoma County for a few years now.
Well, I just finished my second year.
Oh, okay.
But I'm excited to be in Stillwater. It really is nice. And yes, I've worked in extension before in my career, but then I taught for a long time, and I've come back to extension, and I love extension. I think there's not a greater platform to teach horticulture in the world than with the extension service.
Yeah,
so
it's
great.
so fun getting out and sharing your passion and seeing others get excited about things as well as gardening.
And it's also an opportunity to work with a lot of volunteers.
Yeah,
and that's great too.
Yeah,
so,
and you have a big volunteer group, Master Gardener program.
We do. We're approaching just at around 200 Master Gardener volunteers, and more than that with the interns we currently have. But we have a great program for Master Gardeners in Oklahoma County, and you can register right now if you wanted to join the class of 2020 this fall.
And that starts in the fall, right?
Yeah, it does. The deadline to enroll to be a Master Gardener in the 2020 class in Oklahoma County, because it's different in every county.
Different,
Yep, ours is in May. So you could go to look for that on the website or contact me directly, and we will get you some information.
All right. Well, I know after Christmas time, everybody gets excited about. I mean, it turns into spring. It seems like we get that spring fever. We're getting seed catalogs coming in.
I know, and this weather is not helping because it feels like spring already.
Yeah, it does.
We haven't had winter yet.
Yeah, and it will come back eventually.
Right,
I know it will. I think maybe this weekend even.
Maybe, yeah.
So tell us, for those that are already itching to saying, some people have New Year's resolution to garden.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I think some of us innately do that, but some of us, it's like, this is going to be the year I do something with my yard, or I learn how to do something
new. Something new, or maybe just be a little bit better at what you were already doing.
Right.
And I think one of the things that we've got a big event coming up in April that's called Earthkind Earth Day. It's going to be hosted at Will Rogers Gardens.
Okay.
And it's open to the public. There is a fee, which will cover lunch. It's only $10. But the truth is that people are always asking me, I think one of the most current topics right now is, how can I continue to be a gardener or start to be a gardener and be more friendly to the environment and protect our natural resources? Because as gardeners, we're already concerned about our natural resources. I mean, we love the environment. We love to be outside. And so this particular event is completely focused on gardening with the planet, I guess you would say, and using Earthkind techniques. So it's the morning session at Will Rogers. It starts at 9, and from 9 to 12, we'll be talking about everything from water conservation, which is huge right now, especially people who are trying to maintain lawns.
Well, in most cities, especially Oklahoma County, I know I think it's every other day is kind of the status quo. Oklahoma City, excuse me.
Yeah, it varies, but Oklahoma City, yes, we're on limited watering. But then what I'm hearing is phone calls from people in other communities in our county with big water bills too. I mean, even in Oklahoma City, but they want to keep their lawn looking nice, but they don't know how to do it without having a huge water bill.
And there are plants other than cactus that you can use, correct?
Yes, this program will have a huge focus on plant materials that are drought tolerant, is what we call it, but are still beautiful.
Right.
I don't know, I think we start thinking that there's not much choices, but there are.
There are.
Yeah. And then also
And you're originally from New Mexico, right?
Yes,
so you know some of those
New Mexico,
plants.
Yes.
I mean,
and the beauty of working with plants. But what amazes me is all the perennials that we can do with almost no water. Annuals too, but lots of perennials, and trees and shrubs. They need to know those too when they're, especially if you're planning a new home or landscape or updating.
Yeah.
So this program will also cover Earthkind efforts in pest control. Can I use less pesticides? How do I use less fertilizers?
Which is actually less cost, less input. I mean,
it is.
That all helps make it low maintenance.
And if you're struggling to figure out how to do it this is the perfect program for
Okay.
you. So,
Okay.
and in the afternoon, we're going to do things like show you how to compost, show you how to start a vegetable garden, and release ladybugs.
So it's really a good beginner's class for people that are starting off, and also probably a refresher for those that might need to be reminded of some of those techniques.
You will always learn something new. That's what I say. You can always learn one new thing.
I know it takes me a few times to beat it into my head. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. So again, the cost and the date on that?
It's $10. It's on my birthday,
Oh.
April the 18th.
Well,
Yeah.
happy celebration.
Yes, it'll be fun. We're trying to coincide it with Earth Day, which is, of course, is the 22nd of April.
Okay.
So it'll, it's that weekend before Earth Day.
Okay.
It's easy to remember. You can register at Will Rogers Gardens website.
Okay. All right. So so Will Rogers. What about more information on your county and some of the other events? I'm sure you've got a lot of other.
We
You
do.
do kind of like, it seems like every season, you're doing.
Yeah. We have another program on February 15th called Step Into Spring.
Okay.
That one is a 3-hour program on how to get ready for everything you need to do in the spring.
Oh, okay.
And so we do those quarterly. They're called I can't remember the title of them. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I put you on the
That's
spot.
okay. Anyway, seasonal workshops.
Okay,
Yes,
but those are on
yeah.
your website, I would imagine, that when they start
Yes.
coming up and stuff
Yes,
like that?
yes, and the next one is Step Into Spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's kind of nice because it can get overwhelming to think about a garden year round and what you might have to do.
It is if
but
you
if you
take it
break
in
it down
chunks.
into the next
Yes.
3 months, I got to get this done.
Yeah.
Or this is what I need to be
Yeah,
doing.
I'm also partnering with that urban ag educator who will be on the show today with you,
Mm-hmm.
Josh Campbell, and I think he might even going to be talking about the Step Into Spring.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, Julia, we appreciate all of that you do and always enjoy
and you
having
too,
you. And-
Casey. We appreciate you and all you do for Oklahoma.
well, thank you. I know you've been on the show with us a few times.
Yeah, anytime you need me, I'll be
Yeah,
there.
so we definitely will be coming down. But real quick before you go, any youth stuff that's coming up? I know last year
Oh,
you
yeah.
did kind of a
Yes, we'll have
planet.
our Planet Earth workshop, and I don't have that date in my head either, Casey. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's fine.
But yeah, we have a youth workshop in June.
Okay,
That's,
yeah, that'll be when the school's out and
yeah,
stuff like that.
and maybe we can do some promo on that for the show
Yeah,
again.
definitely.
Yeah.
How did that go last year? Was
It went great. The kids loved it. They took home their own tomato plant with basil and a recipe for making like a salsa. And it's so neat to watch children get hooked on gardening.
Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
really is.
again, county extension offices have an array of programming.
Right.
Obviously, we're talking about horticulture, but there's a lot more to it than that. And here at the conference, we've got ag educators and
Yeah.
nutritionists and
Yeah,
all these people here,
dietitians,
dietitians
yeah.
and financial management. I know y'all do like urban yoga classes and
We
things
do.
like that. Yeah.
Tai
So
Chi.
yeah, so it's really
Yeah.
fascinating what you can get at your extension offices. Check out the Oklahoma County Facebook page. I think you have a Master
Yes,
Gardener
Oklahoma
page.
County Master Gardener Facebook
And then also
page
your
and our
website.
too. And that series of classes is called Four Seasons Living.
Okay, Four
I'm sorry, it just went right out of my head.
That's all right.
Four Seasons
Nerves,
Living.
right? Julia, you're a pro at this. You used to do the radio show, and we appreciate you coming on. And I think we've got a little clip of when you were on
fun
our
with that.
show with us.
Yeah,
So thank you for
good.
joining
Thanks,
us,
Casey.
Julia.
My pleasure.
We're here at the Oklahoma County Extension Office, and joining us today is Julia Laughlin, who is the horticulture educator here. And we are in your new display garden, which is beautiful. You've
Thank
still got a
you.
little planting to do, I understand.
It's an Oklahoma-proven display garden, so it's all the years, 20 years of winters of the annuals, the perennials, the trees, and the shrubs. So people can come see them growing here.
Yeah,
It's
it's going
exciting.
to be a fantastic display.
Yeah, we hope to have it done by the end of the year. But
Excellent,
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
today we're also going to do a little project. You've got a fun kids activity for us.
Yes, this is a project that we're going to use this summer in kids camp. It's called Plant It Earth.
okay.
Plant It Earth.
And today we have our second horticulture educator, Brian Jervis, joining us. So you might notice that our educators are changing as we show video. So we'll show a video of you after when you're exiting is what we're going to do.
Yeah, so
you
you're getting worse as you go on.
No,
Sounds
not
like
at
with
all.
me coming
Not
up.
at all.
It's all
no.
good. It's all good.
So, Brian, you're in Tulsa County,
I am,
and so
I
we
am.
want to talk a little bit about some of the programming that you have going on this spring. I know You have an amazing army of volunteers over there in Tulsa County.
We got a wonderful army.
It seems like every time
it
seems like every time I go over there, you guys are like, oh, we have this event and that event, and so we're not going to be able to talk about all of them today.
Probably not.
No.
In 10 minutes.
But give us a little bit of what's going on this spring with you guys.
We're ready for spring. We've kind of been through winter, and we've got quite a few things going on that we're kind of excited. We've kind of went to the social media platform.
Okay.
We kind of took off with that, and we've hired us some help in both marketing side and from Master Gardener side that like to do that. So
because some of them have had previous careers in that sort of.
absolutely.
So tap into that talent.
You've had 20, 30 years of knowledge there.
Yeah.
So let's use it.
Absolutely.
So we kind of have.
That's
And
awesome.
It's kind of fun because a lot of our classes we've been promoting online and filling them up. And that's great. We hadn't even printed a flyer on half of them, so we're kind of taking this change and making it work. And
Excellent.
And also we're seeing bringing in a newer, younger audience. Not that the older audience is going away. We're trying to bring in some new folks to let them know, hey, we're out there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're here to help, and hopefully help you. In a good way, and be able to make you successful as a gardener.
Yeah, well, I got to come over this fall and do some training with your Master Gardeners. Great group of people.
Yes,
and then I
yes.
also went to your monthly meeting, which is
Yes.
intimidating crowd. But
No, it's not too bad.
No, they're all good people. I
Yeah,
love coming over
yeah.
there. So let's talk a little bit about what some of the programming that they're offering. I know Master Gardener programming isn't for everyone.
Correct,
It's a
correct.
commitment. It's a
Correct.
volunteer commitment.
Correct.
But there's a lot of people that just want to learn something about gardening this spring.
That's right.
What
We've
can
got
they
a
do?
couple. We've got a couple programs, 3 actually, on that come to mind. One's a pretty simple one. It's kind of a lunch and learn at our library system downtown. I think we start in the middle of March, I believe.
Okay.
And I believe it's on a Tuesday, and we'll go about 6 weeks, 8 weeks like that on various subjects, whether it's seed saving, whether it's tomatoes. Everything's got to be tomatoes on those, roses or whatever. But we'll have that schedule on those classes at the library on our website
Okay.
to find and go from there. Another one.
Is there a fee with that?
No, not at the library fee.
And do they have to go to
Just
all
show,
of them, or
just show up.
whichever one?
Just
Okay.
show up. I think we'll give them a little gift or a potted plant at the
Okay.
end if they attend all of them.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of as a thank you.
Okay, but if you want to come to the tomato one,
That's right. You can just pick and choose
Okay.
that one. Another one, a little more intense one, is what we're calling urban gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not everybody can commit to be a full volunteer, so this is a way for us to teach folks about gardening. Just it's a 6-week evening class on Thursdays, and again, it's on the website too. We'll do that. There is a little bit of fee there because we'll give you some materials and snacks and all that. But check that out if you're interested in kind of a 6-week evening class on gardening. Subjects vary from soils to tomatoes.
Okay.
So yeah,
All
that
right.
one's a good one to check out.
And I
also.
know soils. It always sounds like the
Sounds
most
boring
drab
and
class,
bleh.
but I got to tell you, being in horticulture for so many years now, soils does not get enough credit.
No,
it really doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's so critical to gardening.
With the organic matter and adding and
Yeah.
always tilling and always pulling weeds. Yeah, soils is a good base, but we've got to start there,
Right.
and then we work our way up on
Right.
that class.
Absolutely.
Speaking of soils,
Okay.
a master composting class that
Okay,
we started a couple years ago,
Okay.
and we're continuing that along this year. It starts a little later. April is
Okay.
when it is starting. I believe it's on Monday. I'd have to go back, but again, all of these classes on our website. The master composting class is a 6-week class also.
Okay.
We're going to try to do some tours of some local commercial recyclers.
Okay.
So we're kind of excited about that. That's been a popular class also.
Now, is that set up so that it's like the Master Gardener where you volunteer to, or is it just more of a class?
So
space?
it has a little bit of volunteer opportunities.
Okay.
A part of that class, you need to do a project, whether it's with a group or a whole class project, whether it's build a compost bin for a school garden, or one of the classes helped us with our major compost bin at the office. So there's a little bit of fun stuff in there, and like I said, the tours, and then there's kind of, I don't want to say the heavy soil stuff, but there's the science stuff behind
Yeah.
that and the presentations and all that. So it's a good class, popular class as well.
Yeah, I know it's always a mix of classes between those that get really nerdy about things
Yeah.
and love the
Yeah,
science,
yeah.
and then some of those that like the more
Just are interested.
interesting
Yep,
things.
yep, for sure,
So
for sure.
exciting. So you guys are really involved out in the community. Talk a little bit, not so much the education side, but just some of the community involvement that y'all are doing.
We got it. We involved a lot. One of our more funner. How's that for an Okie term? But our more enjoyable programs is our school program.
Okay.
And our school program where we go out into the schools and teach kids about gardening. And, those kids don't get a lot of that anywhere else. So, we're going in and spending about 45 minutes on various subjects, whether, it's earthworms, whether it's learning about trees, learning about soil. And then we'll spend time. We'll have 3 volunteers in that classroom. And then we'll go, say that school has 4 fourth grades or 4 third grades.
Right.
We'll usually do all 4 of those, make it worth our time to go out to one location and do 4 classes. So yeah, that's awesome. We teach about 19,000 kids in
Wow.
that each school year. So again, a lot of labor. It takes a lot of work to do that, but
that's a huge impact that you guys are
It
having.
is, and those kids they need that. They don't get to go play in the dirt. A lot of parents that don't get dirty. Well, we're trying to tell them the opposite. Go get dirty and enjoy gardening.
And that's the master gardeners for the most part that are doing that.
That is volunteers.
There is
yes.
no way that you
Yes.
could be
no
having
way
that
I could
by
do,
yourself.
No way
Yeah,
I could do all that.
I know you have a cape on.
I'm
but
pretty
you're
good,
not-
but I'm not quite that good. Yes.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
And so if we have any school teachers from Tulsa County that might be listening that want to get their school involved, would they just contact you at the extension
again, go to
office?
our website.
Okay.
We're our website's out there, tulsamastergardeners.org, and all of our stuff's out there, and that's how we do most of our advertising. But yeah, have that teacher get a hold of us. We are on a kind of a waiting list. I think we're full for this spring, but we'll start filling them up in the fall, or at least we'll keep a list, and then we'll contact them once we're released what our dates are going to be.
Okay, excellent.
Yep.
And I know the Home and Garden Show is coming up in March. I'm going to be speaking there
Oh, are you?
twice
Great,
on the
great,
Friday.
great.
But you guys always have an amazing display.
Yeah, that's a
People
big.
love your trees and your calendars.
That's
I know.
a big booth for us. The HBA Home and Garden Show. I think it's the first full weekend of March is
Okay.
when that is. Again, check our website out.
Yeah, I
and
think it's
it'll
like
be
the
there.
13th or 15th
Is it?
or
So it's
something
the,
like that. Yeah.
So that
Yeah, I
that'll
think
be
it's
coming up.
Friday the 13th.
Friday
I'm
the
speaking.
13th.
Yeah, I remember that date now.
Yeah. Well, great. So yeah, there's always stuff. There's a lot of ways you can contact us. Go to our website and check us out.
Okay. Well,
Perfect.
and if you think Brian is doing an excellent job on our podcast, it's because he's an old pro at this on this podcast. Tell us a little bit about your podcast. that you do.
Yeah, it's kind of fun and scary all at once. We have a master gardener that has done that in his life, and so I said, hey, I seen Casey's podcast.
We can do better than
that. No, again, just what I wanted is to have various subjects. Our first one was about 55 minutes long, and then so we're about averaging now about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But what we're doing, it's video, so I'm able to show a screen, I'm able to show some photos, and then we're able to cut out segments. So tomatoes segment we'll cut out,
Okay.
and post as well, because not everybody has time to sit through a 30-minute
Right.
podcast, but they can do some segments if they're interested in those subjects. So again, it's on our website. Go
Okay.
out there. It'll be. I think you'll enjoy it. At least the outtakes were fun.
Yeah, and
that we did.
I looked at your website. I saw the outtakes
yeah,
too.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
a good one.
yeah.
But I saw your website, and I love how you have them listed by topics so people can easily see.
Correct. So yeah, go check it out. I think they'll enjoy it.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
it's a little more, I would say, ours is more chatty and personal and trying to get to know you as a horticulturist and gardener.
Yeah.
Whereas your podcast is, hey, this is the problem we're seeing right now. Be aware of this, diagnostic type of information.
Correct. Things
So-
that we can post on Facebook, social media, our website, and they can get it and see it.
Yeah.
And see what to do and how to correct it.
Yeah, and so that it's a more current information as far as here's what you might be seeing and fighting out in your
more
garden.
science heavy, but we'll try to throw in a joke or a bleep out here every now and then.
Well, it's excellent, and I appreciate it. And I actually learned from, that's what's going on in Tulsa County, because we can't know everything all the time in the whole state. And Tulsa County can be completely different than the other half of the
Isn't that
state.
crazy?
So, yeah.
We're all in one state, but it's so different, and even county to county, side by side, is different. So,
Yeah,
yes,
so-
yes.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing over there in Tulsa County. You've been there, how many years have you been there now?
A long time. Working on 20, working on 19
But you're
or
still
20.
being innovative, coming up with new things, and that's exciting. And I know the volunteers just love you over there, and so thank you for
Most
all
of them do, hopefully, but no, the volunteers, it's all them. They keep us going and keep us, fresh, keep us going with this new ideas and things. So
Yeah.
always trying something. Some we fail, most we succeed at.
That's
Not
the
true.
important thing. That's the important thing. And we always try to post any events you have on our show calendar.
Correct.
Also,
Correct.
I know you always do a garden tour.
Yes, we
and
do.
so we'll have that information
Yep,
on our
yep,
show and that
yep.
sort of stuff as well.
Yep, check us out.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks
Casey.
Brian. We're
Thanks,
going to show a
everyone.
little footage of you now.
Awesome. Oh, no. So, yeah, there's our Habitat for Humanity homes.
Okay.
And, there's the podcast itself
yeah, no,
there.
that's us
talking
right
there. So,
But yeah, there's some pictures of some homes that we're going to show real quick, I guess.
That we done with Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
We landscape their homes. So after the homes are completed by the volunteers at Habitat, we come in and then landscape.
Oh, wow.
So we'll do a little bitty landscape. We don't want to overwhelm them.
Yeah.
But, probably an 4x8 bed on these houses. But these new homeowners are coming in new, and we'll actually go in and teach them about gardening. So that gives us some education time, and then we'll install them. And then if they have any questions, they'll have us back out to see what's wrong, what's going on with it, what they can do to improve that
Again,
house.
such another great avenue that
Yes.
you're educating people through
Yes,
and
yes.
helping the community
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely.
All right, Brian, thank you so much for joining
Great,
us.
glad to be here.
We'll see you.
Take care. So another part of this Tulsa Blooms Community Beautification Project is a fun one. It's a door hanger, and we've printed off these door hangers, and basically the door hanger says, "Thank you for your beautiful landscape," and then we'll put them in master gardeners' cars and hands, and as they drive by a beautiful landscape, they'll go and hang it on their door, thanking them for their beautiful landscape that they have.
This is pretty exciting behind the scenes when that video is rolling. We're doing a little round robin with our educators. And next joining us is Courtney Myers, who is in Cleveland County. And you've been there for a couple of years also now.
About a year and a half.
Right? Okay. Yeah. So you're down in the red country.
Yes, but...
Or crimson, I should say. I guess it is.
Crimson and cream. Well, I guess we don't talk about that.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, we're glad that you could make it up here to the Orange Country again, and
good to
appreciate
be
you
here.
joining us. So I know spring's a busy time for us, and it seems like as soon as we come back from Christmas break, as horticulture educators, we are geared up for spring already.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in your county.
Sure. So our Cleveland County Master Gardeners are preparing for their annual plant sale. It's our big fundraiser. They fund their teaching and demonstration gardens with the fundraiser, and they also provide horticulture scholarships. So they've been working in the greenhouse starting in around November. They start propagating and starting
okay.
seeds.
Yeah.
And so they've been working on that for a while, but kind of really gearing up and making sure we've got everything ready for that.
That's excellent. And you guys have a big demonstration garden
We
down there. Let's talk a little bit
do.
about that and let people know who might not be aware. Can they come and visit, that sort of stuff?
So they're open for tours. It coincides with the Norman Farmers Market.
Okay.
They're open for tours from about 9 to noon on Saturdays, and so people can just come in and enjoy the gardens. We have master gardeners on tour who can give tours, explain some of the beds that we have, explain some of the different plants. And then also we can do private tours if there's scout troops or maybe a homeschool group or any teachers looking for field trips. We can do tours like that too, with field trips and some interactive stuff with the kids, and that's always a lot of fun.
And your demonstration garden is just that. I mean, it's got different beds that represent different things that you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Themes or situations. Yeah.
There's a couple dozen different beds. We've got xeriscaping, we've got a rain garden, we have square foot gardening for vegetables. We also have an organically managed vegetable garden. There's all sorts of
You've
stuff.
got a worm bin going on.
We have the worm
a big
bin. Kids love that.
Yeah, a water garden, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you used to have the breast cancer.
Yes,
all
we still
pink.
have a
You
breast
still have
cancer
that? Yeah,
awareness
okay.
garden that's all pink.
Okay,
So
very
that's
nice.
a fun one too.
A lot of themes there.
Yes,
and
takes a lot of people.
Yeah, so I know you've got also a big group of master gardeners down
do.
there. Do you have a class coming up, or when does your class run?
Our class will be in the fall, so we start August 7th, the
Okay.
first week of August. But we will be opening registration for that probably around March, April. So
Okay.
be looking for that too.
Okay.
Would be.
All right, and so tell us a little bit about this plant party that you have coming up.
Sure. So they do the big portion of the plant party is our plant sale, which is our fundraiser.
So it coincides with that.
It
Okay,
coincides
okay.
with that. So you can come and purchase your plants, but we also have a lot of
Sounds
interactive.
like a party to me.
Yeah, I know. That's my kind of party.
Yeah.
And so we also have events going on or activities as well. So we'll have things like wreath making or painting rocks for kids. We'll also have some other organizations around in town to kind of show their organization. Last year, we've had a large push for styrofoam recycling in the community, and so we had someone talking about that. So lots of different booths that you can come visit, and also get to visit with the Master Gardeners and see what they're up to.
And that's there at the Fairgrounds, is that correct?
Yes, we're located at the Cleveland County Fairgrounds, kind of in the corner, but it's pretty big, and it's once you get there, it's pretty easy to
You
find.
just follow the line of cars going in there.
Yes, you see people with plants here in the right
So
spot.
are there fees to some of those workshops, or are those free events like the wreath making and some of those?
Oh,
that you
no, that's
mentioned?
all free, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
There's donations, of course, but no, you are definitely welcome to come and participate in that.
Fantastic. So are there any other community involvement that you guys are doing around? I know you guys used to do a bug thing with libraries.
Yeah,
Is
we
there-
work a lot with
okay.
our libraries, doing different classes. We have a new library in Norman, and so we're really looking forward to maybe getting to do some partnerships with them and get to work with the Master Gardeners and teach some gardening classes for the communities there.
Okay, excellent. Well, a little bit about Courtney's background. She was a student here at OSU.
Yes,
And so
not terribly long ago.
So it's good to have you back in Stillwater again
you.
with us. And we're going to have to find you down in Norman because we haven't filmed with you on Oklahoma Gardening as an educator.
No.
But previous to this position, you were at the Department of Ag, correct?
Yes, for about a year and a half as
But
well.
you were doing some stuff horticulture related. Can you tell us a little bit what your background is there?
Yeah, sure. So when I was at the Department of Ag, I worked primarily with nurseries and greenhouses, out-of-state shipping and exports and things like that. So I got to see a lot of the industry, and that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts of that job, was getting to see the greenhouse industry across the state.
Well, I think that's something some people don't even realize about the horticulture industry is, you know, if you ever try to go to Hawaii and try to mail something back or mail something
Oh,
to
yeah.
Hawaii and it doesn't get, you know, or it's been opened and somebody has taken the seeds out and that sort of stuff. But basically, that's the Department of Ag that's kind of regulating that, and mainly it's for diseases and pests and things like that, right?
Yeah, so to make sure that things don't come into Oklahoma, things like, you know, emerald ash borer, or, you know, we only have fire ants in some parts of the state. So working to make sure that those things don't spread beyond where they already are,
Right.
or keeping things out of Oklahoma that might impact our other industries.
And the same with that whole don't move your firewood sort
Yes,
of
don't
situation.
move your firewood, bring bugs.
Because there can be
yes.
bugs in your firewood, and an innocent person could be thinking, "Oh, I have this wood. What does it matter if I
Yeah,
take
what
it
does
a
it
couple of
matter? I buy
states
it
away?"
local, and then I'm going to go on a camping trip, but there might be something that in that wood that we don't have here, and so that's also a big.
Yeah,
thing
and
to
that
think
can
about.
cause some problems.
It really
You hear
can.
about it in the industry side of things that, you know, nurseries have had outbreaks of things,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, it's just interesting to hear that side of things sometimes.
It is.
So-
I'm really glad that I have that perspective. So things like crepe myrtle bark scale, that's just kind of one of the other ones that's sort of spreading across that sort of started moving, and
Yeah.
so, but we've got it here now.
So if you're ordering plants online and you get a little slip that says this has been checked by whatever, then that's what Courtney used to do, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat. So,
Something like that.
So excellent, Courtney. Well, thank you. You come with a wealth of knowledge, and we appreciate that. And we're looking at maybe doing some sort of segments to kind of highlight that aspect
Sure.
of the industry as well at some point in the future. So
That would be great.
and we'll definitely get down to that Crimson County of
Yes,
yours.
come see us.
We need
Oklahoma
to
State is
check
still-
out your demonstration garden again and stuff. So thank you for sharing with us. And
Thank you for having me.
I think we're going to show a little video of you back in the day in college. They got you into doing
They
a
found
segment
that.
back
They
then. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Courtney Dekalb. I am currently a senior at Oklahoma State University studying horticulture business. I initially got interested in horticulture because I was vegetable gardening at home with my dad in high school, and I decided that this is what I wanted to do, so I came to Oklahoma State. I've really enjoyed my time at Oklahoma State University. It's been a great 4 years. I plan to attend grad school next year, and I couldn't have done it without the faculty at Oklahoma State.
And we are back again. We switched chairs again with Keith Reed. And so Keith Reed is the horticulture county educator here in Payne County. So you had the largest commute, I think, right? Getting here this
so
morning.
that mile-and-a-quarter bike ride was lengthy this morning.
Yeah, and if you know Keith at all, or you've seen some of our previous segments, you all know that he's an avid biker. I love your tie, by the way.
Thanks.
That
Me
that
too.
looks a little more like a mountain bike, though.
Well, I can swing both ways.
Okay, all
whatever, you know.
right, all right, excellent. And it's orange, so it's the right color,
Right.
obviously. Well, we want everybody to know who might be tuning in. We've got Travis that's watching us. Thank you for joining us. But we're here with all of our county educators because you guys are in town for the OSU Biennial Extension Conference here at
Correct.
the Student Union. So we've pulled each of them out for about 10 minutes, and we're trying to talk to them about some of their spring programming that you might be interested in that's happening in your county. So, Keith, again, with Payne County, tell us a little
Yes.
bit about what you guys are doing this spring.
So one of the things, and one of the things that separates Payne County from the other horticulturists that you've spoken with this morning, of course, is we're so fortunate to have the Botanic Garden right here in our backyard. And so from a Payne County perspective, I just think of that as, you know, let's go out to my garden. So I'm really, we're really blessed to have that as a resource right here in Payne County and right here in town. So a lot of our programming, of course, takes place at the Botanic Garden. And one of the best examples of that is a lot of the educational services that our Payne County Master Gardeners offer. So that is one of the things I'd like to talk about today, and one of the things that I'm most excited about as a horticulture educator.
Well, let's go ahead and dig on into that then. Let's tell us what you've got going on.
So, and we call it the Tuesday Gardening Series. So classic, you know. It's explanatory.
It's good marketing.
It works.
Yeah.
It works, and it's a program that the Payne County Master Gardeners have been offering for years now. And it's evolved, as most things do, from time to time into kind of a holistic monthly program that covers all kinds of topics. So as we'll get into in a minute, they're really all over the board.
Yeah, and these are very popular segments. I think you mentioned that they are, but I want to heighten that a little bit, that they are popular amongst the community.
Well, they are popular, and you know
It's standing room only sometimes.
So that's, you know, they're at the. Many of your viewers have been to the Botanic Garden, and they've been in the educational building for a program or something through the years, so they know that space is limited.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, we found ourselves in a little bit of a pickle. How much do we want to market it if folks come out and it's standing room only? So
Right.
we've never had to turn anyone away, but you're correct. Some of our programs are kind of almost standing room only.
So get there early and enjoy the gardens a little bit.
Always
Yeah.
get there early. There's no excuse not to get there early and get out into the garden
Right.
and look around. Absolutely. So we always encourage people to do that.
So those are starting this next month.
They
February
actually
11th.
start in February.
Okay.
So it's always the second Tuesday of each month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. One of the things I love most, it starts on time. If you're there at 6:01, you're late,
all right.
and you're going to have to go to the front of the classroom to get a seat.
Okay.
So I
Good to
love that.
know.
I love that about the promptness of our group.
Yeah.
I do want to say it is 100% volunteer-led and designed and programmed and almost always taught. There are some exceptions. Sometimes we'll bring in an expert speaker that is not a master gardener, but master gardeners do a fantastic job of lining up the speakers, doing most of the teaching. And so if you ever hesitate, you know, let's say you don't know, have any garden experience, and you hate to go to a program because you feel like you're not qualified. You know, first of all, I hope that you never think that. But
It can be intimidating sometimes.
it can be
to walk in,
intimidating,
yeah.
but just know that these programs are taught by master gardeners who may not have any more experience than you do on a particular topic, except they've gone through some of our formal training. Now, in most cases, as master gardeners, they're just like the rest of us. Each have their own area of interest. Some love vegetable gardening. Some master gardeners will run away from a tomato plant because that's not their thing, and that's great. to lead out in their wheelhouse, what
Yeah.
they're passionate
Yeah.
about. So that's one of the fun things about the program that I really do like.
Yeah, and I do love that about the Master Gardeners, because when I was a county educator in Canadian County, you had volunteers come to you and they were like, "This is my area," and I'm like, that never even crossed my mind. You have
Exactly.
so many ideas and so many creative people coming to you with different niches of gardening,
Right.
fairy gardening and this and that, and so it's really fascinating. And
It-
so
it-
all those come out to subjects at some
It
point.
is, and so a great example of that is February 11th. Each session runs about an hour and a half, and we try to split it up each month into 2 topics. And so if you look at February 11th, we have 2 sessions, and one of those is on square foot gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason we're doing a session on square foot gardening, obviously the interest is there, but we now have a master gardener who's actually moved in from another county, and that's her area of passion and expertise.
Excellent.
So whereas historically we haven't had anyone qualified to really speak with any expertise on that topic, now we do. So
Excellent.
we're excited about it, just as one example.
That's fantastic. So you said they're the second Tuesday of every month. They go through September, it looks like, February through
Correct.
September.
Right.
And we're going to post that, or we have it posted, I think, the schedule. But they can also find more information about that on your website, I would imagine.
PayneCountyMasterGardeners.org website, and the topics are in addition to the timing of the topics, which are always covered, then our webmaster goes in after the program, and if there were any handouts or anything pertinent information, then they're real good about putting those up on the website. And then, of
that's
course,
excellent.
you can also follow Payne County Master Gardeners has a Facebook page. So,
Okay, and
yeah.
so if you're interested in becoming a master gardener, I know that a lot of times you have your class every other year, I think, in the wintertime.
Typically, yes.
And so if people are interested, email you, let
Right.
you know of your interest.
Call our office or drop me an email or something and let me know that the Master Gardener program is something you're interested in, because we have a smaller population in our county.
Right.
As you just mentioned, the class, we don't necessarily teach it all the time. So while we very well may not offer it at a time that works best for you, you're always welcome to come to our meetings. You can come to our monthly meetings and get a taste of what the Master Gardeners is about and jump right in, and attend because our monthly meetings are educational, in addition to covering other topics.
And I have to say, gardeners are the friendliest people. So if you're a little bit like, I'm new to the area, or I just want to meet some new people, I have a little bit of an interest, I want to learn something in gardening, don't hesitate to go into a master gardener meeting. They're first going to feed you.
if I could expand on that
Okay,
just a little
yeah.
bit, friendly, but in an introverted sort of way.
But if you talk to them about plants, there's probably no shutting them up.
if you're a gardener, you're going to fit right in.
Excellent.
Absolutely. So.
Excellent. Well, Keith, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm glad the sun is shining for your bike ride this morning.
So we should all be out in the garden today. It's the first week of January, and so I'm not the only one getting a little bit nervous, Casey.
I know.
It's 65 degrees today, so
the magnolias are going to be blooming soon, aren't they?
so hopefully the snow will slow things down
Yeah,
later
I
this
think
week.
winter's supposed to happen this weekend.
Yeah.
So I know we've had to chain him to this chair just to keep him inside. So we're going to roll this chair out so you go to the conference.
Thanks for having me.
But thank you for joining us, Keith.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Keith Reed, the horticulture educator for the Payne County Extension Office. This may seem like an unusual way for me to introduce myself for a gardening segment, but that's only if you don't know me. For those that do, you know that every chance I get, I love to ride my bike. Not only does it bring me a great deal of joy, but it's also crazy practical for making short trips around town like this right here. Before we get to that, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our Payne County Extension Office. Each county extension office, while sharing a common mission, is a bit unique. We happen to have the home campus of Oklahoma State University right here in the center of our county, is the showpiece of our county, if you will.
And we want to give a shout out to Fran, who's a regular that's watching our show, and also Donna Dollins. Thank you for joining in. Next up, we've got Courtney Keck, who is in one of my lovely places that I still have a fond spot for in my heart, and that's Courtney Keck at Canadian County. So Courtney is our horticulture educator there. Thank you for joining us. Glad you could be up here to Stillwater for the conference. So we've been kind of talking with everyone about what's going on this spring. So tell us a little bit in Canadian County, for those who might not be familiar with that location. It is El Reno, Yukon, Mustang, just west of Oklahoma City.
Yes, pretty much the Oklahoma City metro.
Piedmont, I
West
need to mention
side,
Piedmont,
yeah.
Calumet, that area.
Yeah. We are a hybrid of urban and rural in Canadian County.
Yeah, it's a fun county.
Yeah, I love it.
So you've got some programming coming up. I know your Master
Yes.
Gardener class happens in the fall.
In the fall.
So when are your registration for that?
So I like to have applications in by June 1st because we start contacting students in June to set up an orientation in July and then counselor training in July, so then we can get all the materials purchased and start in.
Yeah. It takes some
August.
prep work to know who is going to be there and how many.
Yes.
So excellent. Well, this spring, you've got some programming happening for people that might not be master gardeners, but just want to get involved in
Yes.
gardening or add a few plants to their garden specifically. I know a fun event that you'll do, I think in the spring and the fall, is your
Yes.
plant swap, seed swap. You've got the seed swap
Yeah.
coming up right away, right?
About 4 years ago, we added a seed swap in January. So we do have a seed swap coming up this Saturday at the Mustang Library at 10 a.m.
Okay, and that's,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about
Well,
it
the
used to be
seed,
a little bit of chaos ensued.
I was going to say
don't know
the
if it
seed
still is
swap's
that
not
way.
as crazy as the
Okay.
plant swap.
Okay.
So the plant swap is the 2 times a year, spring and fall, April, October. And that one's at the Yukon Community Center. This
Okay.
year, it's April 25th. It will
Uh-oh.
be at the Jackie Cooper Gym.
Heads up, everybody.
So location change after however many years it's been going on. But the plant swap is a little crazier. People scope out the plants before handling on the tables, find what they want, and then once 10 o'clock hits,
So walk us through how it works. If you've never been to a plant swap, like, how does this work?
well, people bring, for every plant they bring, they get 1 ticket to swap it out for another plant. Once the whistle blows. And they do line up, so first person in line gets the first pick, and then they get back in line if they've got more tickets.
So only one plant at a time.
One plant
and then
at
you
a
got to get back
time.
in line, so that
It's
way
somewhat organized.
everybody gets a first round, then a second round until your tickets run out.
It's
right?
really fun. It lasts about 15 minutes.
It goes
when
quick.
It's done, yeah.
I've never seen master gardeners run so fast as to
Yeah.
free plants.
Yeah. So that's a fun event, and we also tell people if you don't have any plants, go ahead and show up because we always have leftovers or more than enough, and people give away their tickets when they don't want as many plants as they brought.
Right. So what qualifies a plant?
Okay.
I mean, can I dig up a dandelion and call that a plant
No
and get a ticket?
weeds.
Okay.
No weeds. And we know a weed is a plant you don't want somewhere, so it may be someone else's treasure. But you know, typically
Traditional
what a
weeds,
weed is, you don't bring in like a
A dandelion.
dandelion, yeah, you know. So we take in tree saplings, and then your perennials, annuals. Maybe even some little shrubs. People have brought things like beautyberry or forsythia, but not a whole shrub.
A lot of the old-fashioned perennials that are easily divided, I would say, are often there.
In
And
the
so
fall, we get a lot of perennials.
Okay.
That's the time to dig them up. A lot of them to dig them up and divide
Irises,
them.
things like that,
Irises,
daylilies.
cannas,
Yeah. So if you're maybe have just bought a new home and you're wanting to landscape, I think this is sometimes an
Yeah.
opportunity. If you've got your backyard overrun with a certain iris and you want to add some diversity to it, this is a frugal way of doing that and sharing what you have.
And like I said, even if you don't have plants to bring, show up anyway and you'll leave with plants.
Okay, excellent. So the seed swap that's this
Yes,
weekend?
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
We started that about 4 years ago, and we tell people for every packet of seeds you bring, you get a ticket, and it's basically the same. You line up and like the plant swap, and use your ticket, get back in line for any other tickets you have. So we're building on that each year. I advertised it on Eventbrite this year on our Facebook page, Canadian County Master Gardeners Facebook page, and Eventbrite has really been working for us.
Excellent.
We've got about 40 people signed up for the seed swap, and we'll see if they all show up.
That's a lot of opportunity to get new plants.
Yeah, and it's a free event, by the way.
Very good, very good. So, again, and that is at the Mustang Library.
Library.
Okay. And I know you do a lot with the library programs, because the extension office is in El Reno, which can sometimes be a drive if you're more on the urban side of the county.
Right.
So you're always offering things in Yukon and
On
Mustang
the
as
urban
well.
side, yes. So like last year, 2019, I did a lot of make and take workshops with the library, do DIY succulent gardens, DIY fairy gardens, propagation, things like that. And we had a good turnout for about 8 to 10 programs that I did there throughout the year. So.
Excellent. So do you have any of those that are kind of you're working on or planning that you can give us a
Well,
A
not
hint?
no. Right now, I'm working on
well, you
maternity
might be gone
leave.
a little bit.
I've got to organize, get my ducks in a row for maternity leave. So I'll be gone in March and April.
Yeah.
But we have master gardeners in our county.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. We have master gardeners in our county that will be able to answer gardening questions if you want to call during that time or come in the office. So.
Okay, excellent. And do you guys still do some education at Lowe's, or do you have that program still going on?
When you were there, how many years ago is that?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
You've been there longer than I was there now.
This is my 7th year, and we've had a Lowe's booth at both Yukon and Mustang, their garden center, in April and May on Saturdays.
And Ross, too. Don't you have somebody at Ross that...
Well, during their spring plant sale,
Okay.
we have a booth with 2 master gardeners at Ross Seed Company in El Reno. And that one's 8 to 12. I can't remember the date. I don't think Barbara had the date.
That's all right, not to
scheduled
put you
yet.
on the spot, but be looking for master gardeners at Lowe's and also at Ross during the summer when people are, or spring, when you're kind of out thinking about gardening and buying plants.
Give really good advice, and they've got the fact sheets to hand to you there at Lowe's.
Yeah, yeah. And I know you're doing a lot of the festivals too. That's always something that the master gardeners help with. Festival of the Child is
that's a
coming
fun
up in
one.
May. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you do some sort of little activity with the kids there?
We used to do the tomato plugs or seedlings that we gave away to kids, but they were falling out of their containers, spilling everywhere by the time they left the festival because it's 10 to 4. So we started a couple years ago doing stratification of seeds. So we give them a little baggie with vermiculite or perlite and some wildflower seeds in there. We try to get milkweed seeds, but if we can't find that, we do wildflower seeds. And we give them a little information sheet to how do you take care of it, put it in the fridge for 30 days,
Excellent.
plant it. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that is another free, fun event for families to go to. I mean,
is.
it's not necessarily horticulture focused. It's youth,
Yeah.
kid focused, but...
It does cost. I don't remember.
Oh, does
But
it?
yeah, the
Oh,
Festival of
sorry.
Child does cost. But if you're a volunteer, you get in free.
Okay. Okay, well, again, it's worth the value that it is.
Yeah,
So.
it's a good festival.
Excellent.
So festivals like that, we try to have our master gardeners at to, hand out that research-based gardening information as well as get our name out there.
Okay. Well, Courtney, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry we're already out of time. Is there anything else you want to talk about real quick, or?
I wanted to mention that last year, 2019, I got to go to the International Master Gardener Conference in Philadelphia, and I highly recommend it if you're a master gardener. Go to that international conference. It happens every other year. The next one will be at Virginia Beach.
Oh, that sounds like a good place to visit, too.
Yes, yeah.
So was it a whole week-long event, or?
It was a week long, lots of workshops, field trips, got to go to a lot of botanical gardens. It's well worth the money to invest in it. So.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks for letting us know. I've never been to that conference, actually. I might need to add that to my list at some point. Thank you for joining us, Courtney. We'll talk with you soon.
Thank
And
you.
we have a little video we're going to show of you as we exit here.
Hi, my name is Courtney Keck, and I'm the horticulturist for Canadian County Cooperative Extension Service. That's out in El Reno in Canadian County, and this is our extension office. As you can see, we're pretty exposed out here, lots of sun and lots of wind. There's not really a lot of trees out here. It's more of a prairie type land. And out front here, we have some demonstration gardens, and that used to be just all boxwood out front on both sides of the doors with a couple of raised beds, but we changed it a couple years ago, so this is all fairly new.
And again, we've switched chairs now. Joining us is John Hasse with Rogers County. So up there near Claremore, I should say.
Northeast of Tulsa.
Northeast of Tulsa,
15
yeah.
miles.
Yeah, so John, you've been the horticulture educator there for a few years.
A few. 18, going on 18.
18, has it been that long? Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Well, you're very familiar with what you've got going on and established there, and you're always coming up with new stuff as well. We've been talking with the previous educators about spring, the spring fever that everybody's feeling, and with the weather like it is today, it's hard not to
Right.
want to get out in the garden. So
Exactly.
I know we're all got to kind of pull back the reins a little bit. Winter's going to happen, I think, in a couple of hours, days maybe. So tell us a little bit what people can anticipate, though, in Rogers County.
Oh,
this
well,
spring.
it's just about like anything in Oklahoma. It could be, like you said, 60 today, and then it's going to be, what, 32 Saturday with chance of snow. So
Yeah.
winter's still here, so we can't get too excited yet. I mean, you can look at the seed catalogs and look at the websites and all that to get, enthused for
Do you
the
have any
spring coming.
programming to get people enthused? Are your master gardeners doing anything?
Well,
as
we're
far
right
as-
in the middle of class.
Okay.
We start our class in December, and then we have a little
I
break.
should know that. I think I'm coming up there.
Yeah, well, actually, you did.
Or I did
but-
last December. Sorry, I'm going to Bartlesville next week. I
Oh,
think.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we're right in the thick of it. So, our class will get done right before spring hits.
Okay.
Right at the end of March.
Excellent.
And then we should be ready for spring. But yeah, our big push early is just signing everybody up on committees to do volunteer work. And that's a big deal for the master gardener, just to kind of, so we know what all we're going to be doing, and all the members that's signing up have, some ideas.
Right.
And then the first real big one is the Home and Garden Show, which is like early April.
Okay.
So
And where is that held at?
that's at the Claremore Expo, which is a nice size expo, indoor, and an indoor arena, and it's right there kind of on the west side of Claremore. And,
Okay.
they try to, involve several counties. It's nothing like the Tulsa Garden Show, but it's getting better. And what I like, it's free admission.
Okay.
So,
That's-
yeah, you can bring your family, or you can come by yourself, and it doesn't cost.
That's excellent.
So-
And you guys are there offering fact sheets, information, I imagine?
Exactly, yeah, we decorate the front for the entryway, and then we have our, like a hospitality booth, and this year we're gonna kind of focus on home composting.
Okay.
And we have a couple of master gardeners that are real more, expertise, have that quality where they can help people and kind of give mini classes while they're there.
Yeah, composting is a big thing, and we were saying earlier that you can't overemphasize the value of good soil and what
Right.
you can do to impact that. So.
Exactly, yeah. And it's trendy right now too. I mean, people, it kind of goes and comes and stuff like that, but it's always been a real important part of gardening to
Right.
me. And, recycling is a big deal, which it should be. And so anything you can, anything that's compostable can be done. It's just, there's certain things that you gotta take care of, like make sure it's warm enough. And
Right.
there's some moisture on it and stuff like that. But it's really, I think when people get the hang of it, compost happens.
It
Right?
does, yeah. If you leave something on that soil long enough, you look underneath there and there's
Yeah,
decay.
it's like,
Yeah.
wow, this
Yeah.
is a treasure.
Yeah, but hopefully you'll learn how to not let it stink, or kind of get
Exactly.
that formula down more correctly.
Right,
So
right. You don't want the coons getting in there. Like, yeah.
exactly, feeding them.
Right.
Well, tell us a little bit. If somebody is not interested in becoming a Master Gardener volunteer, are there opportunities other than the Home and Garden Show that they could get some more information about gardening and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it on the schedule yet, but we're hoping to do at least like a couple of courses on just home gardening, like emphasize raised beds, because soil in Rogers County tends to be kind of clay, and so raising the bed up and is usually a good idea to do there. So we'll probably have that, and it'll be, either on our website, or we have a, Facebook Master Gardener page.
Okay.
So we'll be advertising it then. And then anybody interested in pecans, I usually emphasize that area. So we'll have, a grafting class and a demonstration thing probably in April.
Y'all have a lot of pecans up there. in
Yeah,
your area.
yeah, it's like usually 4th or 5th in the state as far as county production.
Yeah. How was everything going? We were talking with Becky Carroll a little bit earlier on the podcast after the floods and everything.
Right,
this spring.
it was just so much rain and the humidity stayed around, and so people that didn't spray, the pecan scab, which is, a pretty major disease for pecans, was pretty bad this year.
Okay.
So yeah, it did hurt the quality.
Okay.
So,
Well, which will affect the prices at holidays and things
yeah,
like that.
it does.
Yeah.
But actually, the statewide, I think totals were good.
Okay.
So I think the prices are actually lower. They're not like $4 a pound like they were last year. Or the year before. This it's been around $3 or $3.50 for paper shell.
Okay. All right. Well, how many Master Gardeners do you have now up there in your area?
Well, I just redid the roster, honestly. So we're up to 71.
Okay.
Which is, not bad for us. And I've got a new class of 21 taking the course. So
Excellent.
it's a big class this year, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, it's a good group that you have up there. I always enjoy coming up there.
Yeah.
And y'all have got a, we did a segment up there with a lady that had established or let the prairie kind of come back.
Right.
You did a segment with us on that. Tell us a little bit about this program you have coming up, February 18th?
Right. John Corey is he was a professor at TCC, or Tulsa Community College, and he retired from there, and he's took on the project at Connor Correctional Facility with inmates. And what is cool about this is they've opened up and allowed them to participate with Pell Grant money, so that they can actually get like a associate type degree in horticulture while they're doing their time there. And it's excellent because it cuts down any kind of recidivism rates, and so it's really a fantastic deal that it's been going on for years there.
Okay.
But he's made the program really take off.
And so is he going to be talking about it on
Yeah,
this?
what we did is he came to us last year, and the Master Gardener Association donated $500 worth of plants and equipment and tools and stuff like that, and seed.
Okay.
So they were, he does usually do that where he kind of goes around and tries to get contributions.
Right.
So we were able to help him, and he's kind of given us a report on how the year went with the project that they're working on.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
So presentation about that program will be February 18th?
February 18th at 7 o'clock at the Rogers County Building. The public's welcome to attend. We have a little business meeting beforehand and refreshments and stuff. So.
Okay, so that's typically your regular Master Gardener meeting presentation?
Yes, that's our monthly meeting.
But people can come that might be interested in that program,
Oh,
or
yeah,
interested
definitely.
in seeing what the Master Gardener program is
Right.
about if they want to join next year.
Right.
So
yeah.
when does your registration start for next year's class?
Oh,
You
we start,
typically-
I don't know, we start getting the word out right away. It's usually like the Home and Garden Show at that booth.
Okay.
And then, you know, we advertise it through the summer and then at the Rogers County Fair. So, but then I start calling everybody back, you know, in August, September, telling them, hey, it's coming.
Because y'all start in December, correct? Is
Right,
that when?
right.
Okay, yep.
It's worked out best for us.
Excellent. All right. Well, John, thank you for joining us and
Okay.
sharing with us. And I know we're running a little past because we've got 7 horticulture educators, not just 6. So we need 70 minutes, not 60 minutes. And we've got one more coming up. So we're going to show a little footage of you with one of your master gardeners,
Wow.
I believe.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
thank
good.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Real Claremore out at Jennifer Pekowski's residence. She's got 20 acres of all kinds of different horticultural delights, and one area that we wanted to highlight today is her wildflower plots. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on Oklahoma Gardening.
Sure.
And this is kind of a really neat wildflower area that you can kind of tell us a little story about in the midst of the liatris blooming.
Yeah, and this isn't my wildflower plot. This is nature's wildflower. I had
Okay.
nothing to do with this.
Really?
The only thing that I did was recognize what was coming up and let it go.
Joining us next is Carla Smith from Pottawatomie County, which, if you're not familiar with that location of that county, it is east of Oklahoma County. So Shawnee area, other cities, you're going to have to help me with.
So we're about an hour south of Stillwater, and we start with Shawnee and Tecumseh in the northern part of the county, and we go all the way down to Asher, and it's kind of a long, skinny county, so
Yeah.
it's shaped kind of funny, but we have a lot of territory.
Excellent. All right. Well, you've been there for a couple of years now, and have established the Master Gardener program that you work with, and then also I know just there's a lot of gardening in that community as well. One of their big events that you help with is the Gardening with the Experts.
Yes, right after I started, you came and spoke with Gardening with the Experts.
Yeah,
The-
I've been there a couple of years. It's a
Yes.
fun conference to go to.
And I got to be a speaker last year, but our group has been really well established, and this Gardening with the Experts program has been going on for more than 20 years.
Wow.
So it really has a strong history, and we usually tie in really well to the OSU resources. So we have Dr. Luo coming. She's coming to speak on rain garden design this year. We have a local beekeeper coming to speak about starting beehives and how the pollinators help us. And then we have a couple from our area that has developed a gardening in a box system. And so they will be speaking on container gardening.
Excellent. I love that. I love how, I mean, we've been talking with all the county educators and just tapping into all of the gardeners, the master gardeners, and their specific area expertise to share that with other gardeners. I mean, that's what this is all about, basically. So you're doing that same sort of thing at this conference that is open to the public. It is, what day is it again? January?
It's on a
25th.
Saturday,
Yeah,
yes.
January 25th. And there's a little bit of a fee, I think a $10 fee, but it's so well worth it. You'll get food. You're going to get more food than you need, snacks, breakfast, stuff like that. And then a lot of great information.
Right. It runs from 9 to noon on that Saturday morning. And Vision Bank is one of our sponsors, and they will be providing breakfast. So if you come at 8:30, then you'll have time for a snack and to browse the booths that will be set up. So we'll have a lot of local booths to visit. We'll have an OSU booth there, and we save seed from our butterfly garden. And although we're not part of the program specifically as far as speaking, we will have seeds to give away for butterfly gardening. And so come see our booth. If
There's
you
your
come
$10
by.
value right there, right?
And the Shawnee Beautification sponsors this event, and so they do a lot with beautification projects throughout the Shawnee area, and they actually won an award at Keep Oklahoma Beautiful for their projects in the downtown venue, and a lot of the master gardeners really facilitate and do a lot of the labor end of that and the design and keeping those things maintained.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I know they're a very motivated, dedicated group of people there. And I've enjoyed going down to that conference. And what's nice about it is you get motivated in the morning, and then you get to go out and kind of, if it's a nice day, do a little prep on your own garden and stuff. or at least spend the afternoon looking through those seed catalogs and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. We've had some beautiful weather here lately. I think that's fixing to change. But it's, you have a 60-degree day in January, and we've actually had quite a few garden calls in the office lately on, hey, what can I be doing? What do I need to think about? And so it's really a good opportunity.
So do you have any other programming that might be coming up that kind of helps somebody that's not a master gardener that might be interested in just how to grow a tomato or what have you?
We'll have spring programs. As far as scheduling, some of them I don't have a date set for exactly. We partner with the McLeod Library for a program called Spring Fling that they have done on an annual basis. And we had one scheduled last year and it got canceled due to weather. So, but it is one of those programs that we really love doing. And so we'll have that one. And then we have the annual plant sale that the Master Gardeners will have in mid-May. With that, we have it at the location of our extension office, and we have demonstration gardens on site.
Oh, do you?
And so anytime that they're on site, we like to provide tours to show them what we're doing and give people ideas.
Tell us a little bit about what you offer at the demonstration. I don't know that I've been to it, actually.
We have a butterfly garden that was started in 2014. And so last year was our 5th anniversary of the garden, and we were kind of excited about that. It is registered with Monarch Watch and the National Wildlife Federation. So it's open to the public at any time to come by and see. In the summertime, it's really great to walk out through the garden and see the butterflies and look for caterpillars.
Right.
And I try to take photos of a lot of that. So we do post those on Facebook and Instagram and try to pull people in. But we do welcome visitors. We've got a landscaped grounds where we have a ornamental grass bed that demonstrates, what different kinds of grasses do well for the landscape. We have some trees that a few years ago they had to take out some very well-established elm trees, and it was kind of a big deal to lose those. Yeah. But they've replanted, and so we have
an opportunity, right?
Yes, it's a great opportunity to choose what we're planting and to give people ideas of what do well, and even to show different stages of, you may go to the nursery and buy a small tree, and then it takes a while for that to mature and those kind of things.
You go from either a shade garden to a sun garden or a sun garden to gradually a shade garden, and we have to adapt to those things. And our gardens aren't immune to that either. Gardens are changing.
It's a great teaching tool, and even last year with all the rainfall that we had, there were occasions where we had weeds in the garden, and so people would come in for weed ID, and so we'd say, let's go out to the garden. And
I'm sure
so
we have it somewhere.
It was a way to help people learn that this happens. It's just a matter of maintenance and keeping up, mulching and ways to combat that.
Yeah.
And then we also have raised beds in this area so that we can show what can be done and suggestions and design ideas.
That's fantastic. Well, so your Master Gardener training, let's plug that real quick too. When is that, if somebody's looking to register for next year and stuff?
Okay, we actually kick off our class next Thursday.
Okay.
I have 17 enrolled.
Okay.
And if anybody's interested last minute, I could take probably up to 20. Just call me. And
we might have 3 more spots available.
We could have some openings there, but normally I keep a list throughout the year. If somebody calls me mid-March, I put it on a list.
Okay.
We actually do our biggest promotions probably during the county fair. We have a booth at the fair and really promote and kind of kick that off then. I like to do registration to at least confirm we have enough for the class by October, and then that gives me time to prepare and get on the schedules for the state specialists.
Gotcha, okay. And I know some of those fringe counties that might, I don't know about your surrounding counties, if they all have Master Gardener programs, but do you take people from outside of your county that might be interested in being a Master Gardener?
We always like to encourage people to participate in their county if there is a program.
Right.
But we partner with Seminole and Lincoln counties.
Okay.
They don't have a horticulture educator, but we welcome them. And in fact, I think our Master Gardener group, the title is the multi-county. Okay. So whenever we have to keep that in mind, but we do welcome people from other counties, and especially from Seminole and Lincoln County. Now we're right next to Oklahoma and Cleveland.
Right.
And they have very strong programs.
Yeah.
So it depends on where they live, and if we're closer, then sometimes that works.
Okay. All right. Well, excellent. Well, Carla, thank you so much for joining us. Again, I just want to reemphasize that every county has an extension agent office that people can go into and get information. They might not be answering, or the educator might not be in the office right now because we're all up here at a conference. There is somebody manning the phones, but the educators are all up here getting some continuing education training and stuff, professional development. But we encourage people to go to their extension offices for information, whether it's on horticulture or some other related subject. And we appreciate all of our county horticulture educators stopping in and telling us what's going on this spring. So Carla, thank you for joining us. And that is going to wrap up our 2021 podcast for this year. We've got one more coming up on January 22nd. With Karen Hickman, who is with the Natural Resources and Environmental Management Program, or department. So anyway, Carla, thank you, and we will see you next time.
All right, thank you for having me. Thanks.
To find out more information about show topics, as well as recipes, videos, articles, fact sheets, and other resources, including a directory of local extension offices, be sure and visit our website, oklahomagardening.okstate.edu. And we always have great information, answers to questions, photos, and gardening discussions on your favorite social media as well. Join in on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find this entire show and other recent shows, as well as individual segments on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And tune in to our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel to watch segments from previous hosts. Oklahoma Gardening is produced by the Oklahoma Cooperative Extension Service as part of the Division of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources at Oklahoma State University. The Botanic Garden at OSU is home to our studio gardens, and we encourage you to come visit this beautiful Stillwater jewel. We would like to thank our generous underwriter, the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry. Additional support is also provided by Pond Pro Shop, Greenleaf Nursery and the Garden Debut Plants, the Oklahoma Horticultural Society, and the Tulsa Garden Club.